Have you ever been there? That moment when everything is just going perfectly. The new job is amazing, your relationship is better than ever, you're finally hitting your stride, and then boom, you do something to mess it all up. It's this super confusing and frustrating pattern, right? So why do we do it? Let's dive into this strange comfort we seem to find in familiar pain. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It just feels completely backwards. Why on earth would we push away the very happiness or success we've been working for? Well, if you've ever felt this, trust me, you are not alone. And there's a really fascinating psychological reason behind this whole act of self-sabotage. You know this feeling. It's that little buzz of anxiety right under the surface of all the joy. It's that little voice whispering, "This won't last. Don't get too comfortable." So you're happy, sure, but you're also kind of bracing for impact. And believe it or not, that feeling, that's the key to understanding what's really going on inside our heads. Okay, to get this, we have to get one thing straight about our brains. Their number one job isn't to make us happy. Nope. Their number one job is to keep us alive. And when it comes to survival, nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important than predictability. So think about it like this. On one side, you've got familiar pain. Maybe it's loneliness or money struggles or just feeling stuck. It feels awful, yeah, but it's a known quantity. Your brain knows the drill, it has a playbook for it. But then on the other side, you have new joy, like a healthy relationship or a huge success. To you, that's wonderful. But to that survival-focused part of your brain, it's uncharted territory. It's totally uncertain, and the brain's alarm system often slaps a big, dangerous label on anything that's uncertain. So what is this mechanism that just yanks the emergency brake on our own happiness? We actually have a lot of names for it. We call it our inner critic, our gremlin, or as we're going to talk about it here, our inner saboteur. It's that part of us that just seems hell-bent on seeing us fail. And that's usually how we see it, right, as this malicious internal enemy. It's the voice that whispers, "You're not good enough for this," or "Who do you even think you are?" It really feels like it's actively working against our best interests, like some destructive force that we have to constantly fight and try to silence. But here's where the whole thing gets turned on its head. What if we've completely misunderstood why we do these things? What if this force inside us isn't actually an enemy at all? And this brings us to a completely different perspective, a radical one, really. Instead of thinking of it as an inner saboteur, let's try reimagining this part of ourselves as a wounded protector. Just that one little shift in language, it changes absolutely everything. This right here is the crucial insight. This part of you isn't trying to hurt you, it is trying to protect you. Think of it like a super loyal, but maybe a little traumatized bodyguard who's operating on really old, outdated intel about what's actually a threat. And this is where we can see its flawed logic. Its goal is your safety, 100%. But its strategies are based on stuff that happened in the past. Maybe a long time ago, you got shamed for being too proud, or you had a really devastating failure right after a big win. So the protector learned a simple rule. Big joy leads to big pain. So we've got to avoid big joy at all costs. It's not malicious. It's just stuck on a loop from the past. To really, really feel this concept, let's use a powerful metaphor. I want you to imagine your familiar struggles, your comfort zone, even if it's super uncomfortable, as a prison cell. Inside this cell, you know every crack in the wall. You know the guard's schedules. You know exactly what to expect day in and day out. Yeah, it might be miserable, but it is predictable. And to that wounded protector inside of you, predictable means safe. Now, just imagine the door to that cell swings wide open, and outside is freedom. It's success, it's happiness, it's that healthy relationship. It's this vast, open, unknown world. To the conscious you, it's everything you've ever wanted. But to the wounded protector, it is terrifying. What new dangers are out there? What unknown threats? The fall from this new height could be so much worse than anything you ever faced back in the cell. And this is exactly how self-sabotage happens. It's a 3-step dance. First, you start walking towards that open door, that new success. Second, the protector panics. It senses danger in all that newness. And third, in a desperate act of love and protection, it grabs you and pulls you right back into the safety of that known, familiar prison cell. What feels like sabotage to you feels like a rescue mission to it. This is the absolute game changer. The next time you feel yourself pulling back from something good, try not to see it as a personal failure. See it for what it is, a misguided but profound act of self-preservation. Your system isn't trying to hurt you, it's just trying to protect you, using a very, very old map. And that shift from self-blame to self-compassion, that's the first real step toward change. And that really leads us to the final thought here. If you stop fighting this part of you as an enemy and start seeing it as a scared protector, the entire dynamic changes. The question is no longer, how do I defeat this thing? But instead, how do I reassure it? How can I show it that this new freedom is actually safe? And starting from that question, well, that's a much more powerful place to begin.